I visited Promise House when I was 14 years old. It was after a really bad argument with my mother, and she asked me to leave.
Many of the clients that we work with, they struggle. They go through different hardships, and sometimes the parents themselves who brought them in this world, they don't have all the answers or the resources that they need.
We had just a lot of dysfunction going on. My mother was a single mother of 4 kids. She was dealing with kidney failure. So I think the stresses of that and just not being able to provide for us, she lacked patience.
Well, first of all, it was a lot of sofa surfing, and it sounds benign and fun, but it was very, very dangerous. You did not know the people you were staying with. You did not know their intentions. And it seems like when you drive around Dallas, you don't see the underbelly, you don't see the dysfunction that, as a runaway, you will witness. You'll witness a lot of perpetrators that really don't have your best intention in mind.
Their stories are so compelling, and their resilience is so amazing. I've often said so many times, it's a wonder they walk upright.
It wasn't just one drug we were using. We were doing different things and drinking. And there was a girl who passed out, and they put her in the bath, and they tried to wake her up, but she wouldn't. And then they talked about just dropping her off at the hospital. And we all knew each other. We were all good friends, and I couldn't imagine. I was like, what if that was me?
I was going with strangers from night to night, being picked up by strangers in the middle of the night, just to be able to have somewhere to lay my head. So I just said, you know, I'm gonna call them.
This probably been one of the first places where they come to and they feel that somebody's listening to them, that somebody's hearing what they say or concerned about them. I mean, I get many kids come back and call and just find out, see how I'm doing. Because they have tell me this, and well, this is the first place where I felt that somebody cared about me.
We're talking about young people who've lived a certain way for, 10 to 20 years, and we're asking them to do things completely different and live a completely different lifestyle, and that's hard, and it's very painful, and we try to recognize that and work them through it. But that's probably the 2 hardest things, is learning to trust again and learning new ways of living your entire life.
There's been many times where I've had to turn someone away. One of the persons has not gotten in and committed, or made a suicide attempt, or when you find out that someone was found abandoned in an empty housing area, and they were shot. That's very, heart-wrenching. And how I deal with it is, I definitely try to make sure that the person that was able to make it into the program, they realize that these spots are very sacred.
They've dealt with so much trauma and hardship. And yet, when they get a listening ear, when they can have structure, when they can go to school and get extra help, the changes is just miraculous, really, it can be.
I think the reason that Capital for Kids supports the Promise House as a nonprofit is that we can see the visible signs of the changes that are being made in the whole child that comes through this door. A child comes in from a broken home, a broken situation, and when they come in, they're shown love, they're shown support, they're given the tools they need to be successful, and so that when they walk out these doors, they're far more confident than they were when they walked in.
In schools, in parks, in churches, and neighborhoods, there are youth who need help and who have nowhere else to turn. The biggest thing that we can do is be aware and be prepared to offer help. We
can make great steps and great advances towards, helping to heal and solve some of the homeless populations, especially with the population that we deal with. So,
when you're talking about economic issues and the health of a city and what makes a city successful, unless we help these kids, we will never end chronic homelessness. So, for all of you out there who have kids, you know how expensive it is to raise a child. And so I want you to think about the fact that Promise House raises kids that have no one else. And it's very expensive, and we need your help.